When a man hurts you, when his words cut like hidden blades, when his actions shake your ground, your first instinct is often to speak, to defend, to argue, to prove him wrong. But in that very moment, the greatest strength does not lie in words. The greatest strength lies in silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not submission. Silence is a choice, a conscious act of restraint that reveals discipline of the highest order. Anyone can shout back. Anyone can throw fire when they are burned. But to remain calm, to remain composed, to remain unmoved, this is a power that unsettles the one who tried to hurt you. A man expects a reaction. He expects tears, anger, or confrontation. He expects you to give him your energy because your energy is the real reward he seeks. When you choose silence, you deny him that reward. You step out of his control. He is left wrestling with his own actions, with his own words, with the echoes of what he has done. Silence makes him face himself. Think about the ocean. When you throw a stone into a shallow pond, the ripples are violent, noisy, and chaotic. But when you throw the same stone into the depths of the ocean, there is barely a sound, only stillness. Which one holds more strength? The pond that trembles at the slightest touch, or the ocean that swallows it whole without disturbance? Your silence is the ocean. His attempt to shake you is the stone. There is a dignity in silence that words cannot achieve. Words can be twisted, misunderstood, or forgotten. But silence carries a weight that cannot be ignored. Silence makes a man wonder. He replays his actions in his mind. He questions why you did not respond. And in that questioning, he begins to feel the mirror of his own behavior. Silence is not the absence of response. It is a deeper, more profound response that unsettles the heart and disturbs the mind. When you remain silent, you preserve your energy. Instead of scattering it in arguments, you hold it within. And energy held within is energy transformed. That energy becomes clarity. That energy becomes healing. That energy becomes the quiet fire that strengthens your core. Every word you do not speak is like a brick added to the fortress of your inner strength. Silence also creates distance. Distance is necessary when someone seeks to wound you. If you step into the battlefield of words, you give them ground to fight on. If you refuse the battlefield, they are left swinging at shadows. This is the confusion your silence creates. He expects war but finds nothing. He prepares for battle but faces emptiness. And emptiness is a greater enemy than conflict. Silence reveals who truly holds control. If he speaks and you respond, he is the conductor and you are the instrument. But when he speaks and you remain unmoved, his control dissolves. He loses his power to influence your state of being. That is the essence of strength, to remain the master of your own mind regardless of another's attempt to disturb it. But silence does not mean suppression. It does not mean you bury your emotions or deny what you feel. It means you allow your emotions to rise, but you do not let them spill outward recklessly. You let the storm rage inside, but you are the sky, not the storm. The sky never fears the clouds, it watches them pass. In this way, silence teaches you to observe rather than react, to witness rather than fight. There is also wisdom in silence. When you are quiet, you listen more deeply. You hear not only the words spoken, but the intent behind them. You sense the weakness that hides behind the attempt to hurt you. Often, a man who tries to wound another is carrying wounds of his own. Silence allows you to see this without judgment. Silence gives you vision beyond anger. Silence is not only an external act, it is an internal practice. When you can sit in silence with yourself without needing noise, without needing distraction, you begin to understand your own strength. The one who can be still, who can be quiet, who can be content within their own company, this person is unshakable. No insult can penetrate, no attack can disturb, because they no longer depend on external voices to define who they are. When a man hurts you and you answer with silence, you do not merely confuse him. You transform the entire dynamic. You show that your value does not depend on his validation. You demonstrate that your peace cannot be purchased with his approval, nor destroyed with his rejection. Silence is not passive, it is active resistance, it is self-mastery, it is the highest form of dignity. Your silence becomes a mirror. He looks into it and sees himself clearly for the first time. If he has acted with cruelty, he sees his cruelty. If he has acted with pride, he sees his pride. If he has acted with weakness, he sees his weakness. And this vision is uncomfortable because most people run from the truth of themselves. Your silence gives him no escape. Silence stretches time. Every second you do not respond feels heavier, longer, more pressing. Words would give him closure. Arguments would give him distraction. But silence leaves only space, and in that space the mind turns inward. This is why silence is so unsettling. It is not emptiness. It is a mirror that forces him to confront his own reflection without interruption. Your silence is also a form of teaching. Without saying a single word, you show what true power looks like. Not the power of dominance, not the power of control, but the power of mastery over oneself. This is a lesson louder than any argument, more piercing than any insult, more enduring than any reply. When someone hurts you, the first reaction is to give them more of yourself. You give them your attention, your words, your emotions, your tears, your anger. You pour out your energy as if by doing so, you can somehow balance the wound they created. But in reality, when you give your energy to the one who hurt you, you do not heal yourself. You only feed their power over you. The true strength is to withdraw your energy. Energy is the most valuable currency you possess. Every thought, every emotion, every reaction is a form of energy. Whoever receives your energy gains influence over you. When a man hurts you and you keep responding, you continue to feed him. You keep his presence alive in your mind. You keep his actions echoing in your heart. You keep his power active in your life. By withdrawing your energy, you break the chain that binds you to him. Imagine a fire burning in the night. It grows stronger when it is fed with wood, with air, with fuel. But when the fuel is removed, the fire fades, it collapses into embers, it disappears into darkness. The man who hurt you is like that fire. He thrives when you keep feeding him with your words, your attention, your endless reactions. But when you withdraw your energy, when you starve the flame, his power over you cannot survive. Withdrawing your energy does not mean indifference. It does not mean you are blind to the pain caused. It means you are conscious of where your life force flows. Instead of throwing your vitality into arguments and battles, you redirect it inward. You allow that energy to heal you, to rebuild you, to strengthen you. Every time you resist the temptation to react, you collect the energy that would have been lost. That collected energy becomes your shield, your reservoir, your quiet strength. To withdraw your energy is to reclaim your space. Words demand space. Conflict demands space. Negative people expand because others give them that space. But when you take your energy back, you shrink the room in which they exist. You leave them standing alone with their actions, unable to sustain themselves without the fuel you once gave. This is why withdrawal confuses those who seek to harm you. They expect resistance. They expect your energy to meet theirs. But instead, you vanish from their reach, and they are left grappling with their own emptiness. Think of the sun. The sun shines constantly, but it does not chase anyone. It does not pour itself where it is unworthy. If a person hides in the shade, the sun does not run after them to prove its warmth. It remains still, radiant, self-contained. To withdraw your energy is to become like the sun. You continue to exist in your brilliance, but you do not waste your light on those who choose to dwell in darkness. There is discipline required in this practice. The mind wants to respond. The heart wants to be heard. The ego wants to fight back. But each time you give in to that urge, you leak your energy. Withdrawal means you master these impulses. You tell your mind, I will not waste my strength here. You tell your heart, my feelings are for me to nurture, not for him to exploit. You tell your ego, I gain nothing by proving myself to the one who wounded me. In this way, withdrawal is not avoidance, it is mastery. Energy follows attention. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. If you keep replaying his words in your mind, you are still feeding him. If you keep analyzing his actions, you are still keeping him alive inside your thoughts. Withdrawal requires you to pull your attention back. It requires you to stop watering the seed of pain and instead water the seed of your growth. To withdraw your energy is not only an outer act but an inner redirection. When you withdraw, you begin to notice something powerful. The silence of your absence is louder than any reaction you could give. He expects you to fight, but there is no fight. He expects you to run after him, but there is no pursuit. He expects you to explain yourself, to plead, to defend, but there is nothing. Your energy is gone from his reach, and the emptiness he feels is his own reflection. This is the confusion that silence and withdrawal create. He is forced to meet himself without the distraction of your energy. Withdrawing your energy also creates space for transformation. Every ounce of energy you no longer give to conflict becomes available for your own elevation. You can channel into your body, into your health, into your discipline, into your craft. You can take the same energy once wasted on anger and invest it into silence, into stillness, into wisdom. Over time, this redirection becomes visible. Your presence grows calmer, your spirit stronger, your movements more deliberate. You transform simply because you stopped leaking your power. There is also a lesson for the one who hurt you. When you withdraw, you no longer teach him through words. You teach him through absence. He learns that his actions no longer grant him your time, your attention, your emotional response. He learns that the path to you is not through wounding but through respect. Your withdrawal becomes a boundary, a line drawn without needing to explain, a law enforced without needing to argue. To withdraw your energy is to become untouchable. Not because you have no emotions, but because you have chosen where your emotions lie. Not because you are cold, but because you are selective. Not because you are weak, but because you are wise. The one who scatters energy everywhere is like a candle flickering in the wind, easily extinguished. The one who withdraws energy from what does not serve them is like a mountain, silent, steady, immovable. There is a kind of strength that does not need to be announced. It is not loud, it does not argue, it does not rush to prove itself. It is the strength of stillness, the strength of composure, the strength of being unshakable. When a man tries to hurt you, when he throws his words like stones or his actions like storms, the greatest confusion you can give him is to remain steady. To become an unshakable presence is to stand like a mountain before the wind. The mountain does not move for the storm. The storm only reveals the mountain's immensity. An unshakable presence is not about physical strength, but about inner stability. It is the mastery of your emotional state, the grounding of your spirit, the centering of your mind. People who seek to hurt you expect reaction. They expect to see you fall, to stumble, to be swept away by what they have done. But when you remain present, steady and rooted, their efforts dissolve into nothing. They cannot disturb what cannot be moved. Presence is a force that speaks without words. When you walk into a room with presence, people feel it before you say anything. Presence is the energy of someone who knows who they are, who does not need to beg for validation, who is not swayed by the changing winds of other people's opinions. When you cultivate such presence, a man can shout insult or betray, but he will find no weakness to grip. He will find no ground to pull you down from. To be unshakable requires grounding. Imagine a tree with shallow roots. A gust of wind can uproot it, tear it from the soil, scatter its branches. But a tree with roots that run deep into the earth cannot be moved. The wind may bend its branches, but the trunk stands firm. You must become like this tree, deeply rooted in your self-worth, grounded in your discipline, connected to a strength deeper than temporary storms. The hurt of another may touch you on the surface, but it will not uproot your essence. Unshakable presence does not mean you feel nothing. It does not mean you are numb or closed. It means you feel fully, but do not lose yourself in the feeling. It means the wave of emotion rises, but your awareness remains the ocean beneath it. Anger may come, sadness may come, betrayal may come, but your presence holds all of it without being consumed. This is true strength, not the denial of emotion, but the ability to remain centered within it. To cultivate presence, you must master stillness. Stillness of the body, stillness of the mind, stillness of the breath. When others are frantic, you remain composed. When others rush to speak, you pause. When others lose themselves in reaction, you return to your center. This stillness unsettles those who try to harm you because they expect turbulence. They expect you to mirror their chaos. Instead, you reflect silence back to them, and silence reveals more than words ever could. An unshakable presence confuses because it cannot be controlled. A man may use anger to control you, but if you do not respond, his anger collapses. A man may use manipulation to control you, but if you remain steady, his manipulation fails. A man may use withdrawal to control you, but if you remain centered in yourself, his absence loses its power. To be unshakable is to be beyond control, because no external force can dictate your inner state. Think of water flowing around a rock. The current pushes, pulls, rushes past, but the rock remains. Over years, the water carves new paths, but the rock endures. Your unshakable presence is this rock. Time may pass, circumstances may change, but your center remains steady. The one who hurt you will test your stability, will push against your boundaries, will attempt to unbalance you. Each time you remain still, Each time you stand rooted, the lesson becomes clear: you are not easily moved. Presence is also awareness. To be present is to be here, fully in the moment, not trapped in the past of what was said, not lost in the future of what might happen. When you are fully here, no one can drag you into their storm. Their words belong to them. Their actions belong to them, but you remain anchored in your own being. In this way, presence is protection. It shields you from being pulled into dramas that do not belong to you. Unshakable presence is not about resisting everything, but about being open without losing balance. The tree bends in the wind, but it does not break. The mountain feels the rain, but it does not dissolve. You too can bend without breaking, feel without losing, receive without collapsing. To live in this way is to confuse those who thrive on reaction. They want to see you lose yourself, but you show them a self they cannot move. This kind of presence takes practice. It is built through silence, through observation, through breath. Each time you choose not to react, you strengthen it. Each time you return to your breath when emotions rise, you strengthen it. Each time you stay grounded when tested, you strengthen it. Slowly, it becomes who you are, not something you try to do, but something you embody. And when you embody unshakable presence, people feel it. They sense the steadiness in you. Some will respect it. Some will fear it. Some will be confused by it. But all will know they cannot move you easily. Your presence becomes your shield. Your presence becomes your strength. Your presence becomes the quiet power that no one can take away. When someone hurts you, the natural urge is to strike back, to respond with anger, to return insult for insult, to mirror the same pain that was given to you. Yet true mastery is not found in revenge, nor in hostility, nor in lowering yourself to the level of the one who wounded you. True mastery is found in kindness. Not the weak kindness that bends in submission, but the powerful kindness that disarms, that confuses, that reveals the difference between strength and reaction. Kindness, when used with awareness, becomes a weapon far sharper than anger. To answer hurt with hurt requires no discipline. Anyone can react. Anyone can let emotions rule their tongue and actions. But to remain kind in the face of cruelty is to choose a higher ground. It is to show that you are not governed by the energy of another. You are not controlled by their actions, nor trapped by their behavior. Your kindness is not for them, it is for you. It is the shield that protects your dignity and the sword that cuts through the cycle of hostility. Kindness confuses the one who tries to wound you because it denies them the satisfaction of victory. A man who seeks to hurt you wants to see your reaction. He wants proof that he has power over you. When instead he is met with calmness, with respect, even with compassion, he is unsettled. He expects fire but finds water. He expects resistance but finds openness. His anger crashes against your kindness like waves against the shore, loud, chaotic, but ultimately unable to move it. Kindness is not weakness. Weakness is surrendering your power, letting another dictate your state of being. Kindness is strength because it shows you are unbroken, untouched at your core. Even when someone has tried to harm you, you remain who you are, unmoved in your values, unshaken in your principles. This is what confuses the one who hurt you. He sees that his actions did not change you, did not drag you down into his world. He sees that you stand firm, still capable of offering light even in the presence of darkness. But to use kindness as a weapon does not mean allowing harm to continue. It does not mean tolerating disrespect. Kindness is not silence in the face of abuse, nor is it the denial of your boundaries. It is the manner in which you carry yourself when you enforce those boundaries. You say no, but without hatred. You walk away, but without bitterness. You protect yourself, but without becoming like the one who tried to hurt you. Kindness allows you to hold your ground with grace, to guard your heart without poisoning it. Imagine two mirrors facing one another. If one mirror is cracked, the other will reflect that crack back. This is how anger and cruelty multiply. But kindness breaks this chain. It refuses to mirror damage. It reflects instead clarity, composure, and wholeness. In doing so, it becomes a teaching. Without saying a single word of instruction, your kindness shows the other person the emptiness of their behavior. They are left facing themselves, seeing their anger dissolve into nothing because it could not reach you. Kindness also protects you from carrying the weight of resentment. Anger held inside corrodes the spirit. Revenge ties you to the one who hurt you, keeping their presence alive in your mind. But kindness frees you. When you choose kindness, You choose not to carry their darkness into your own heart. You refuse to let their cruelty become your burden. You walk away lighter, unbound, because you did not allow your spirit to be poisoned. Think of fire and water. Fire spreads by consuming, by feeding on everything in its path. But water does not fight fire with fire. Water extinguishes it calmly without needing to become fire itself. Your kindness is this water. It does not imitate the harm done to you. It dissolves it, it ends it. And in ending it, it shows a strength that anger cannot match. To wield kindness as a weapon requires discipline. It requires you to breathe when the heart wants to shout. It requires you to soften when the mind wants to harden. It requires you to remember that no one can force you to abandon your principles unless you choose to. This is why kindness is powerful. It is a conscious act, a deliberate choice, an expression of mastery over self. When a man tries to hurt you and you respond with kindness, he is forced into silence. His cruelty finds no foothold. His anger finds no echo. His attempts to break you only reveal that you cannot be broken. Your kindness is not for his comfort. It is for your sovereignty. It is your reminder that you belong to yourself, that you alone decide the state of your being, that you will not hand over your peace to anyone. Kindness is a language that many do not expect but all understand. It speaks to the conscience even when the conscience is buried. It penetrates defenses that anger cannot. Sometimes your kindness may awaken guilt. Sometimes it may awaken respect. Sometimes it may awaken nothing at all. But always it shows the strength of your character. Always it protects you from becoming like the one who wounded you. Kindness is also timeless. Long after words are forgotten, long after anger has faded, the memory of how you carried yourself remains. The one who hurt you may not remember what he said, but he will remember how unshaken you were, how you remained calm, how you answered with grace instead of retaliation. That memory lingers. That memory teaches. That memory is the true weapon, subtle, invisible, but unforgettable. There are few powers greater than the power to master one's own emotions. A man may have wealth, influence, strength, or skill, but if he is a slave to his anger, if he is ruled by his fear, if he is controlled by his pride, then he is not truly free. Mastery over emotion is the highest form of discipline, because it is mastery over the self. Without it, you are a puppet moved by the strings of others. With it, you are unshakable, untouchable, and sovereign in your being. When someone tries to hurt you, they are not always attacking your body. More often, they aim for your emotions. They want to see you cry. They want to see you shout. They want to see you break under the weight of feelings you cannot control. They want you to hand them your power through your reaction. Self-mastery over emotion denies them this power. It refuses to be pulled like a wave by the tides of another person's actions. Emotions are natural. They are not the enemy. Anger, sadness, fear, desire, all of these arise because you are human. To master your emotions does not mean to suppress them, to bury them, or to pretend they do not exist. Suppression only builds pressure, and pressure always seeks escape. Mastery is not suppression. Mastery is awareness. It is the ability to see your anger without becoming your anger, to feel your sadness without drowning in it, to notice your fear without obeying it. You do not kill the emotion. You stand above it, observing, guiding, choosing how to use it. Imagine standing before a fire. If you are careless, the fire burns you. If you fear it, you retreat into the dark. But if you understand it, you learn to use it for warmth, for light, for strength. Emotions are the same. Left uncontrolled, they consume you. Avoided, they weaken you. Mastered, they serve you. Self-mastery means you decide whether to let the fire grow or whether to let it fade. You decide where your energy flows, not the emotion itself. When a man hurts you, he expects your emotions to rule you. He expects you to react without thought, to give him the satisfaction of seeing his impact on you. But when you master yourself, you deny him this victory. You may feel anger, but you do not speak it blindly. You may feel sorrow, but you do not collapse in front of him. You may feel betrayed, but you do not let betrayal define you. He sees your eyes steady, your breath calm, your presence intact, and he is confused. He cannot understand why his actions did not move you as he expected. That confusion is the power of self-mastery. Self-mastery over emotion requires patience. The mind is quick to respond, the heart is quick to feel, but discipline teaches you to pause. In that pause lies your power. A single breath between feeling and action is the difference between chaos and control. When you pause, you remind yourself, I am not my anger, I am not my pain. I am not my fear. I am the one who holds them. I decide what to do with them. That single recognition separates you from those who live as servants to their emotions. There is also clarity in mastery. Emotions distort perception. Anger narrows your vision until all you see is conflict. Fear clouds your judgment until all you notice is threat. Sadness blinds you to hope. But when you master your emotions, you clear the lens. You see not just through anger, not just through pain, but through awareness. You can recognize the intent behind the one who hurt you. You can see whether his actions came from ignorance, from fear, from weakness. This clarity allows you to act not from blindness, but from wisdom. The untrained mind believes strength is in striking back, in showing emotion as a weapon. But true strength is restraint. True strength is when you have the fire within you, but choose not to unleash it recklessly. The one who can rage but remains calm, the one who can collapse but remains upright, the one who can be provoked but remains centered. This is true mastery. This is power not just over a moment, but over the self. Self-mastery over emotion also transforms the body. Stress from uncontrolled feelings weakens the breath, the heartbeat, the posture. It drains energy, it poisons thought, it creates exhaustion. But when you are calm within, your breath flows evenly, your body relaxes, your mind remains sharp. The body becomes an ally rather than a victim. Presence itself becomes lighter, yet stronger. People feel it when they are near you. They sense the stability, the groundedness, the quiet command that radiates from your being. Think of a river. A river that floods uncontrolled destroys everything in its path. But the same river, guided and channeled, nourishes fields, sustains life, creates beauty. Your emotions are this river. When you allow them to flood, they consume you. But when you guide them, they give you life. Mastery is the art of directing the flow rather than drowning in it. There is a silence that comes with mastery. Not the silence of emptiness, but the silence of command. Others may shout, others may provoke, others may try to shake you, but you remain still within yourself. This silence speaks louder than words. It shows that no one else dictates your state, no one else commands your feelings, no one else controls your mind. And when you live in this state, you carry an authority that does not need to be proven. People who look at you recognize it, even if they cannot name it. They see that you cannot be easily manipulated, that you cannot be pushed off balance, that your emotions serve you rather than enslave you. They realize that hurting you does not give them the control they expected. They realize that you are not like others who react blindly. You stand apart because you are the master of your inner world. When someone hurts you, there are always two paths that open before you. One is the path downward, where you sink into anger, revenge, bitterness, and resentment. The other is the path upward, where you rise above the wound, above the noise, above the trap that was set for you. To rise above does not mean you ignore what was done. It means you refuse to become like the one who hurt you. It means you choose to elevate rather than descend. Sinking below is easy. It requires no discipline, no awareness, no control. When someone offends you, you lash back. When someone lies to you, you lie in return. When someone betrays you, you seek to betray them. But in doing this, you do not punish the other. You punish yourself. You carry their darkness into your own heart. You mirror their weakness in your own actions. You confirm that their behavior had power over you. Rising above is more difficult, but it is the only path that keeps you free. To rise above is to step out of the cycle. Hurt feeds hurt. Insult feeds insult. Cruelty feeds cruelty. This cycle has no end unless someone chooses to stop feeding it. By rising above, you refuse to contribute. You starve the cycle of its power. You show that your actions are not determined by what was done to you, but by who you choose to be. This confuses the one who hurt you because he expects you to fall into the pit he created. Instead, you lift yourself higher, leaving him behind. Think of an eagle soaring in the sky. Below, smaller birds fight, chase, and scream at one another. The eagle does not descend to join them. It does not waste its wings in petty battles. It simply rises higher where the air is clear, where noise cannot reach. You must be like the eagle. When others pull you into conflict, you rise. When others throw their bitterness at you, you rise. When others try to entangle you in their chaos, you rise. Rising above is not escape, it is transcendence. There is dignity in rising above, dignity that cannot be found in revenge. Revenge gives momentary satisfaction, but it leaves you standing in the mud with the one who dragged you there. Rising above leaves you untouchable, your dignity intact, your presence unbroken. Others may speak of you, doubt you, insult you, but you are not on the same ground. You are not wrestling in the dirt. You are walking in higher places where their hands cannot reach. Rising above requires awareness. The pull downward is strong. The ego whispers, do not let this go unanswered. Do not let them think they have won. Do not let them believe you are weak. But weakness is not in letting go. Weakness is in being pulled wherever others lead you. Strength is in standing firm in your higher ground. The one who can rise when tempted to fall holds a strength far greater than the one who strikes back. To rise above is also to protect your energy. Anger burns energy. Arguments drain it. Resentment poisons it. The more you sink into negativity, the more you weaken yourself. Rising above means you save your energy for creation, for growth, for the building of your life. It means you do not waste your strength on battles that lead nowhere. Each time you rise above, you add power to your inner reservoir. That power becomes your peace, your clarity, your authority. When you choose to rise, you teach without words. You show others that true power is not in matching hostility, but in transcending it. The one who hurt you may expect you to fight, but when you do not, he is left with his own actions. He is left to see his behavior without distraction. Your rising becomes a mirror that reveals his fall. In this way, your choice becomes his teacher, whether he admits it or not. To rise above is not to deny justice. It is not to tolerate mistreatment. It is not to allow yourself to be walked upon. Rising above means you address what must be addressed, but you do so without hatred. You enforce your boundaries, but without losing your center. You walk away if needed, but without letting bitterness chain you. You deal with reality as it is, but you refuse to sink to the level of those who wrong you. The world will always give you opportunities to sink. People will test you, provoke you, push you. Life itself will send storms, losses, betrayals. But every moment is a choice. Each time you decide whether to descend into despair or rise into strength. Each time you resist the pull downward, you grow lighter. Each time you elevate above negativity, you expand your presence. Slowly, you become untouchable. Not because life does not try to hurt you, but because you no longer allow yourself to sink in response. Rising above also brings clarity of vision. When you are trapped below, the world looks narrow, crowded, full of shadows. When you rise, you see the larger picture. You see that the pain given to you is temporary. You see that the one who hurt you is acting from his own wounds. You see that your path is greater than this moment. Rising gives you perspective, and perspective gives you peace. To rise above, you must anchor yourself in what is higher. Anchor in values that do not shift with insult. Anchor in principles that do not crumble with betrayal. Anchor in the knowledge of who you are so that no one else can define you. With such anchors, you can withstand any attempt to pull you down. You can remain steady while others fall into chaos. You can keep walking your path without being stopped by stones thrown from below. When a man hurts you, he wants you to sink with him. He wants you to wrestle in his weakness, to drown in his bitterness, to prove through your reaction that he has touched you. But when you rise, you deny him this. You show that his actions cannot pull you beneath your own worth. You show that you belong to higher ground. You show that you are not defined by the hurt, but by the strength with which you carry yourself beyond it.